from that type of environment, I totally understand how professors may not want to comment and may not want to take on a more personal role, because it could potentially blur that line between teacher and student.
I mean, I wouldn't support a draconian speech code on campus. I mean, students need to be free to voice their opinion in class. I remember once in Michigan, when I was a grad student TA, I had a student say, you know, he thought slavery was a civilizing influence and African Americans should be glad their ancestors were enslaved, otherwise they'd still be back languishing and poverty in Africa, right? Didn't go down that well in my class, put it that way. But you know, I'm glad the student was, you know, able to say it, and we had an interesting discussion as a result of it. And I want students to, you know, be free to say things that they sincerely believe in, and you know, that are part of a class discussion.
I really wish the president was dead.
But there's certain things like random, but Dave Chappelle, like, I love Dave Chappelle, love his show, and there's certain things that I've watched on the show that I'm like, wow, that was borderline biased or offensive, but my friends are sitting there cracking up about it, you know what I'm saying?
You know, like, I mean, I'm teaching philosophy of religion next term, and you know, some students will be atheists, some students will be Christian, and you know, there's going to be plenty of scope for students to offend each other, saying, I think religion's superstitious, or I think you're, you know, your judgment's corrupted by sin, or something. You know, you can imagine all sorts of things being said.
I really want to have sex with 7-year-old boys. We were just talking about this in one of my politics courses, comparing racist thought and racist speech to child pornography and pedophilia, and how you are not allowed to even say, I really want to have sex with 7-year-old boys. You can't say, I really wish the president was dead, but you are allowed to say, I really hate black people, and why is one unacceptable and the other acceptable? And we really couldn't think of any good reasons, except for one had been socially accepted and one had been socially not accepted.
So it's really hard to answer that question without knowing a list of things that people would want to do that could potentially be offensive or biased.
Speech is, number one, intended to insult or stigmatize individuals on the basis of sex, race, color, handicap, religion, and a couple other categories. Number two, the speech is addressed directly to the individuals whom it insults or stigmatizes. And number three, the speech makes use of insulting or fighting words or nonverbal symbols like swastikas or something.
I went through a lot of different ideas and also feelings to what should be done with the offenders, what should be done about a student who scrawls something on a wall, what should be done with somebody who wants to be so malicious as to climb a flagpole and steal a flag. And I definitely went through the time of the students should be kicked out of school. There should be a zero tolerance policy, and they should be kicked out, and they should never be on any type of educational campus, any type of campus of higher learning ever again.
And I feel like the schools should be more harsh and like have them set as an example.
You think about that and you realize, what will that accomplish?
So I think in a case like that, the best remedy, and this is, I'm paraphrasing Justice Brandeis earlier in the 20th century, who said the best remedy for bad speech is more speech. I'd say that's about 90% right.
By the end of the semester, after going through all of these different feelings and all these different ideas and talking with lots of people, my favorite idea, which is completely impossible, and I recognize that, is to make the offenders get a mandatory minor in multicultural studies.
More education. I mean, that's really all you can do, talk about things.
You know, if the individuals, you know, who are tempted to do that kind of terrible thing, sense it's kind of indoctrination, they're just going to tune it out.
So even if the faculty is trying their hardest to try to raise awareness in their students, it's up to the students to respond to it.
Now, whether it be effective in exorcising racist spirits out of students, in whom they dwell, my guess is the problem's deeper than that, and a single course isn't going to do it.
I feel that even if you are forced into it, even if you hate it and put a big wall up between yourself and the learning, you're still going to be exposed to it.
So I guess, I don't know who exactly is going to be viewing your documentary, but I would just like to say I hope people understand that they are being watched. I hate to sound like Big Brother or anything like that.
Should we, put videotapes in video cameras in people's houses and throw the racists in jail? No, of course we shouldn't. We should tolerate it in that sense.
But I think that no matter where you go, there are going to be people that are going to have some kind of bias, and you have to be able to respond to it, but you need to be able to respond to it in a way that will not only, solve your problem or kind of help you, but you need to be able to help those other people too.
I was standing up on the Free Speech Rock for the whole rally, and I found it to be amazing being able to look out onto over 1,000 people who were there for a common reason. People who would never have been seen together. That was just moving and amazing and completely empowering.
I mean, the only people I know who are wrong in this debate on hate speech are the people who think it's a cut and dry issue.
I don't think that we as a campus can expect to erase hate, period.
We aren't alone as a sexual and gender minority community. We're not alone as a racial minority. We're not alone in any of these small communities. We are one group, the Ithaca College community, saying, no, we won't accept this.